Our next speaker is Mr. Umesh Upadhyaya. He's a retired professor of economics. He's the vice president of the National Labour Academy, the former general secretary of General Federation of Nepalese Trade Unions, and currently the chief of organizing academy of the General Federation of Nepalese Trade Unions. Mr. Upadhyaya, I would request you to speak.
Thank you very much, Maitreyi. Basically, on labor issue, our constitution is strong because of the strong labor movement in the country. We have been successful to unite the voice of the unions during the drafting of the new constitution. Therefore, our constitution covers various workers' rights under the fundamental rights chapter of the constitution: right to work, right to employment, right to social security. Every worker has right for fair labor practices, right to form union and collective bargaining, etc. Decent work concept is also included in the principles, directive principles and policies of the constitution. So social justice and inclusion are also the inherent part of the policies of the constitution concerning labor. And similarly, the various labor legislation, including Labor Act, Trade Union Act, Civil Service Act, and supplementary regulations are in existence. Contributory Social Security Act is also in existence, including its regulation and working procedures. So formal sector coverage is significant in our country, but still informal sector coverage is very low. Even the unions have been less successful to unionize the informal economy workers. And public sector unions are more safe and more aggressive also. But private sector unions are much oppressed and under various types of right violation situations. Therefore, Joint Trade Union Coordination Center has been developed by the existing trade union confederations in our country to fight through a common position, common stand on various labor issues. Definitely, the right deficit is being witnessed during this COVID-19 attack, and it has created problems in the form of job loss and no election of collective bargaining agent in the formal enterprises. So labor right is also under difficult conditions. Actually, the coverage of the formal and informal sector, based on our National Labor Force Survey of 2017-18, is that 37.8% is covered by formal sector and 62.2% of the economy is covered by informal sector. But in actual practice, as we see, even the formal sector workers are informalized. Sector is formal, but workers are informalized. Therefore, more than 92% workers are the informal sector workers, informal economy workers. This is the basic problem. And in unionization, if we go into a little depth, altogether, the coverage of all national centers and non-affiliated national unions is altogether 1.8 millions have been organized out of the 14 million working age population. So 25.2%, 3% of the 25.3% of the total employed workforce is unionized. And if we go to further breakdown, 22.7% of the total employed plus unemployed workforce is being unionized. Altogether, if we go into a broader frame, 8.7% of the working age population is unionized. So the position of unionization is not very inspiring, though it is not low compared to various other countries. So membership concentration is basically in public sector, construction, transport, and manufacturing sectors. But even if in spite of the labor-friendly constitution and various labor-friendly laws, the state itself, though governed by various left political parties also, the state is itself a capital tilt state, and we have capital tilt governance. So it is not a pro-labor governance in our country. Though there is the three tier of governance: federal, provincial, and local governance, because we have moved towards federalism after 2015. And unions have also to change their strategy. They need to focus local level, but still they are not successful. They are just roaming here and there in national level and in policy level only. This is the problem. And unions are now trying to change their strategy and trying to go towards local level. 753 local, rural, and urban municipalities are in existence. But labor administration does not cover all those. Only 11 labor offices, 1 labor department, 1 labor court, and the ministry is in existence, are in existence, which do not cover even the formal sector. So labor inspection system or labor audit system, though introduced in the labor laws, are not in implementation. That is very unfortunate for our reality. So labor administration is very weak. Though we are hopeful, we are our success, our struggle has been successful in the past. So in coming days, we are hopeful that we will gain more achievements on the issue of implementation also. Labor laws and constitution have several provisions, but implementation is the major problem. Implementation has become major agenda in our reality. In case of the sub-regional concern, as far as we have been raising issues in the various forums, basically the free movement of people within South Asia, visa on arrival, has been our agenda from very long time. Similarly, free movement of workers, particularly between seasonal movement between India and Nepal is going on, though administrative problems are there. Still, workers from Nepal go to India and Indian workers come to Nepal. This is mutual, but we have been facing a lot of problem in this connection. And border officials, border authorities are, our border authorities are not tough to Indian workers, but Indian border authorities are, border police are more restrictive and more suppressive to Nepali workers who seasonally migrate to work in India. Another issue very important in our perspective is that SAARC Secretariat is based in Kathmandu. But SAARC level coordination, at least loose coordination in connection with the covering the trade unions and the labor-friendly organizations of different South Asian nations is important, very much necessary. But still, it is not addressed by the SAARC. SAARC itself is now in a passive situation, not very active. Some meet is also not conducted. But still, we are in effort to. We have efforts. We have launched various efforts in past to develop, to initiate, to talk with various trade unions and labor-friendly organizations. As Karamat Bhai also knows about the various efforts, because he is also one of the pioneers in this connection. But still, in SAARC level, we have not been successful to gain momentum to develop any type of workable structure any type of effective structure. But I think in sub-regional level, it should be our aim to develop some sort of loose platform which will be more influential, more effective to persuade SAARC Secretariat to address the labor issues in South Asian context. Thank you very much.